Ever feel like your own brain is a glitch in the system? A rogue AI constantly simulating the worst-case scenario while you're just trying to grab a coffee. Most people tell you to just stay positive, but let's be real. That's like trying to patch a server room fire with a wet paper towel. Negativity isn't just a bad mood, it's a primitive survival mechanism, a leftover piece of code from when we were being hunted by predators in the dark. Today, I'm showing you 5 simple, science-backed ways to crush that mental static using the same psychological frameworks elite survivors use to stay calm when the world goes black. 1. The first tactical move to crush this is what I call neural labeling. When that voice in your head starts screaming that you're a failure, don't argue with it. Arguing with a panic attack is like trying to reason with a flood. Instead, you label it objectively. You say, I am currently experiencing a high cortisol thought loop about my career. By using clinical, objective language, you force your brain to switch gears. You are literally pulling the energy out of the emotional amygdala and shunting it into the prefrontal cortex, the logical command center of your mind. It's like stepping out of a burning building and looking at it through a thermal camera. Suddenly, you're an observer, not a victim. 2. But labeling is just the perimeter fence. To truly secure the compound, you have to deal with the physical fallout of negativity. When your mind goes dark, your body follows. Your heart rate climbs, your breathing shallows, and your peripheral vision actually narrows, a phenomenon known as tunnel vision in high-stress combat. To break this, you need proprioceptive grounding. In survival situations, we use the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. You stop and force yourself to find 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. This isn't just a distraction. It's a hard reset for your nervous system. It forces your brain to re-verify the physical environment, proving to your lizard brain that there is no tiger in the room. You're cutting the power to the imaginary threat by flooding the sensors with real-world data. 3. Once you're grounded, we have to look at the dark secret of mental endurance, the narrative pivot. Every negative thought is essentially a story where you are the casualty. If you want to survive the blackout, you have to become the protagonist. Scientific studies on special operations candidates show that the ones who pass aren't necessarily the strongest. They're the ones who reframe suffering as training. When a negative situation hits, your brain asks, why is this happening to me? You need to pivot that question to, what does this require of me? This subtle shift in syntax changes your internal chemistry. It moves you from a state of learned helplessness, where your brain literally shuts down your motivation centers, to a state of active agency. You aren't ignoring the problem, you're reclassifying it as a mission objective. 4. Now let's talk about dopamine scavenging. In a post-apocalyptic scenario, you don't look for a grocery store, you look for individual cans of food. Your brain needs the same thing when negativity has stripped your mental resources bare. Negativity creates a massive reward deficit in your brain. To fix this, you must engineer micro-victories. Complete a task that takes exactly 60 seconds. Fold 1 shirt. Delete 10 junk emails. Wash 1 dish. These tiny actions trigger a microscopic release of dopamine. It's like jump-starting a dead car battery with a series of small sparks. Each micro-win sends a signal to your brain that you still have environmental mastery. It proves the negativity wrong by providing immediate, undeniable evidence that you can still affect the world around you. 5. Finally, you must implement cognitive decoupling. This is the understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts happen. Think of your mind as a radar screen in a dark room. Most of the blips on that screen are just noise, static, weather patterns, or false returns. A negative thought is just a blip. In the military, radar operators are trained to distinguish between a bogey, a real threat, and clutter. Most of your negativity is just mental clutter. When a dark thought appears, treat it like an unverified intelligence report. Don't let it change your flight path until you have multiple points of confirmation. If the thought says, everyone hates you, and you have no evidence, you treat it as a glitch in the hardware and let it pass off the screen. The truth is, the world can be a dark place, and your brain is just trying to make sure you're ready for the worst. But by using these survival-grade tactics, labeling the threat, grounding your sensors, pivoting the narrative, scavenging for wins, and decoupling from the noise, you turn the lights back on. You aren't just staying positive, You're becoming a mental operator who can navigate the dark without losing your way.